In this lesson, you'll create your own child theme using the standalone theme we used from Automattic as the parent theme. By using your code editor and a few snippets of code, you'll manually create your own theme based on another. Here's where you'll make any code edits to customize the site, using best practices by editing the child theme instead of the original. Let's start by just reviewing what a child theme is. Here from WordPress.org, a child theme is a theme that inherits the functionality and styling of another theme called the parent theme. Child themes are the recommended way of modifying an existing theme. Now, we went over that in the last video, but if you scroll down on this same page, there's a little bit of instruction about how to create a child theme. You can also find a lot more detail if you Google something like how to create a child theme in WordPress. You'll come up with a lot of different tutorials to do it. It's not actually that hard. You do need a code editor like Atom that we've used in the past. First, you need a child theme directory, which is basically a folder called something child. And then you need two files inside of it, style.css and functions.php. Each one needs to be populated with a little bit of code, but that's all you need, and then you can add your CSS styles or your functions.php code snippets that you might be using to change the site and add them to your child theme only. Here's a challenge for you. Go ahead and open up Start Map or whatever you're using for your local development environment and open up your Fireweed Photography site locally. Open up the WordPress dashboard and look at the themes. And then go ahead and look at the WordPress codex at codex.wordpress.org/child_themes, or Google one of the tutorials. Maybe even use this one from wpmudev.org if you like. But your challenge is to create a child theme of this one called Affinity and activate it. Pause the video now and see if you can do it. I hope you did well with that. Whether you're using MAMP or Local by Flywheel for your local development environment, or even creating a child theme on your live server, you'll just need to find your file structure and go into WP Content and the Themes folder to take a look at the names of the themes you can use as parent themes. First, I'm going to find the location on my computer that has the files for this site. If you're using MAMP, it would be under the MAMP folder under htdocs and your site name. If you're using Local by Flywheel, it's under your username and the local sites folder, then the name of the site under app and public. If I open WP Content and then the themes folder, that's where all my themes are located. You can see in this example I've already created a child theme for the Affinity theme. And in this case, Affinity is the name of the parent theme. And so I named the child theme Affinity-child. If I open that up, you'll see two required files inside the child theme folder. And I've also included a file called screenshot here. And we'll add a screenshot so that in our appearance themes area in WordPress, our child theme will show the same screenshot as our parent theme. Now you can name your child themes anything you want. I'm going to go in here and just to show you, I'm going to create a new folder and make another child theme in the same way that I did before. This one I'll just call it Affinity Child 2. So if I open that folder, there's nothing in here. I need to create the two files and then find the screenshot and copy it into here. That way I can go in and activate Affinity Child 2 in my WordPress site. Now inside WordPress.org on the Child Themes page of the Codex, a little bit further down is a block of code we can copy and paste into a style.css file. So I'm just going to select that entire code and press Ctrl-C to copy. And if I open my code editor, Atom, you can see that I have it in a lighter color now. I'm doing some video lesson updates, and so my Atom is in a lighter color, easier to see on the videos. You can see I have the style.css under Affinity Child selected and open right here. Now, if I open Affinity Child 2, you can see there's no folders there. But in Atom, I can just right-click and I can click New File, and it'll place it inside of the folder that I right-clicked. And so I'm going to call that style.css. It has to be named that for every child theme. And I'll just press Enter, and now I have a blank file that I can place that code into. Control V to paste, and there's my working CSS style.css file. Now for me, the only two things that you need to have are the theme name and the template. And so just to make it easy to understand, let's go ahead and just take away everything else except for the theme name and the template and these two comment tags at the top and bottom. So this is going to be an Affinity Child 2 is what I want to name it, and the template is going to be the folder name of the parent theme. In my case, it's just Affinity, just like that. So I can click Control S or press Control S or File Save to save my file, and now that's done. The next one I need is called functions.php. So again, I'm right-clicking in the folder I want and clicking New File inside of Atom. And again, the file name for your child theme for this file needs to be functions.php. WordPress will be looking for that file name. So I created a blank file called functions.php. Now, go back into the child themes page in the WordPress Codex, and a little bit lower down, there's actually two blocks of code that you could use in the functions.php. The first one isn't really useful as much as the second one. If your child theme style.css contains actual CSS code, as it says here in the document, you'll need to enqueue it as well. And so we're going to use the second larger block here in order to place that into our functions.php. Now when I grab this code, you can see that it has an opening and a closing PHP tag. I just hit Control C so that I'm going to place that in Atom in my functions.php file for my child theme. I am going to get rid of the second PHP closing tag, however, because the way WordPress works, it stacks these files together, and we want to open with the PHP tag, but we don't need to close it because the final file, usually footer.php, closes that PHP for us inside of the WordPress files. And now we're not quite finished with this file yet. This is just an example set of code where parent style needs to reflect what the parent theme calls its style sheet. So this is just a comment here. This is the 2015 style. Actually, for the 2015 theme, you would take this title right here and place it inside of the single quotation marks, thereby defining the name of the variable parent style in your functions.php file. Since we're not using the 2015 for our parent theme, we're using Affinity for our parent theme. Let's take a look at the functions.php inside our parent theme and try to find that parent style. It's usually called something-style, and I might just assume that it's called affinity-style, but I need to find it and make sure so that my functions.php file for my child theme works correctly. So inside of Atom, if I press Control F for find, it will open up a window where I can find something. If I just type -style, it's telling me it's found one item, and I can click find, and it scrolls down inside the file to where that is. So I could see that the W and Q style has defined Affinity Style as the name of the style sheet. So I'm just going to copy that, Control C, go back into my functions.php for my child theme, and that's what I'm going to place between the single quotes. I can close this find window to get rid of that styling so it's not so confusing. Now I'm going to paste Affinity Style. And of course I don't need this comment line right here, so that can be a little confusing, so I'll get rid of that. And that is all the change that we need. The parent style is defined as Affinity Style. So if I just hit File Save or Control S for save. Now there's only one more item. Let's go back inside of the Affinity Child 2. Now we can see 2 out of the 3 files. Now where are we going to find our screenshot? Well, we can just go back into our themes folder, and in the parent theme there is usually a screenshot file right in the main folder of the theme. There it is. It's called screenshot, and again, it has to be called that so that WordPress knows what to look for to display it on the Appearance Themes page in the WordPress dashboard. I'm just going to right click and click copy, and then go back into my child theme folder, right click anywhere there and click paste. Now I have a copy of that screenshot that's going to look the same as our parent screenshot. This is all explained among the 2 blocks of code here, especially in this paragraph on WordPress.org. Now all that's left is to log into the WordPress dashboard and go to Appearance Themes and take a look. Now I have the Affinity Child 2 theme. It's using the same screenshot as the parent theme. And if I roll over the child theme thumbnail right here and click Activate, I've just activated that child theme. Looks like there's no errors. And let's just check out what it looks like by opening it in a new tab. Great, looks like it's working all the way down to the footer. Let's finish up by making one more change within the style.css file of our child theme, and we'll see that that makes some changes to the site without affecting the parent theme at all. Maybe we could choose something down here on the footer. For instance, these lines at the bottom of the widget titles on the footer aren't very bright. Maybe I could make those a bright white instead of this low gray. The way I'd find out what the CSS styles that I need to change are is by, in Firefox at least, going under Tools, Web Developer, and opening the Inspector. The Inspector is something, when this is activated inside of this Firefox utility, that when I choose an element on the website, it'll tell me about it on the right-hand side. Here's the actual markup code on the right, and down here at the bottom are the CSS styles. So I can see that let's see, this is defined as a border that's 1 pixel, that's solid, and it's this color. So if I take this whole style element called .widgetTitle, that's a class, along with the first bracket, I'll just hit copy. And let's come into Atom and just below on my style.css of my child theme. I'm going to start out the code block by doing that. Then I'll hit enter to the next line. I'll go back over here, and inside of the brackets I want to change this border bottom. So I'll just Control C, copy that, and place that in my code here. I'll hit enter one more time, and I just need a closing bracket. And great, so instead of having this dark gray color, I'd like that to be white. Great. If you don't know your color hexadecimal codes, you can go to Photoshop or Pixlr, one of those image editors, and pick a color and find out what its number is. So I'll hit Control S to save, and just to check, nothing has changed within the style sheet of the parent theme. In fact, the parent theme is using this huge amount of styling, and the child theme pulls that in automatically because we were able to enqueue the styles in the functions.php. Well, let's go back to our website and take a look. If I just close the inspector and refresh the page, since I saved that style.css file, well, sometimes you might have to do a little bit of experimentation, because I can see that didn't change that border bottom to white. So I did go back into the web developer toolbar and open the inspector, actually. And when I look at this area, I also see that there's a .footer widgets. There's a footer widgets class in front of the widget title as it's defining its border and its color as well. So if I take that footer widgets class and paste it right in front with a space. Footer widgets and widget title, and then the border bottom can be defined as white. So I'll hit Control S and save it. Turn off the web developer, and let's see if I refresh what that does to the border of the footer titles. Nice and white. Great, and we can see that that's only been done to the child theme, not the parent theme. So when they release Affinity 1.1 or 1.5 or 2.0, I'll be able to update Affinity, still get all the newest stuff when they update the theme, but my changes will still be preserved because they're within this Affinity child theme. In this video, you created your own child theme using the Affinity theme as a parent. Then you activated it and made a change to the style.css file to change the website without touching the parent theme. Nice job. In the next video, you'll create a child theme using a plugin, which can make it slightly easier. Then, you'll add some code to the functions.php file to make a fundamental change to the website, again without touching the parent theme. See you there.